it's so nice to see you again. When did we see each other last? About 3 months ago?
I guess.
Okay. So, how have you been since then?
Well, everybody's just kind of getting on my nerves. You know, my mother is always complaining that I'm not doing well. Nobody wants to accept any of my phone calls. It's just kind of frustrating.
Why do you think that is?
Well, they say that I pick with them and they don't want like to be. I think I'm burning my bridges.
Okay.
That's what I think is happening.
Is there any reason why you might be doing that?
Well, I do it because I want attention.
Okay. All right. So,
but it's not working.
So last time you were here, we talked about you know, being irritable, and maybe that might be how you were expressing your depression. So today what I want to do is kind of go through a bunch of questions, and then determine a narrower focus on kind of what symptoms you're having and maybe how I can help you a little bit better.
All right, that sounds good.
That's fine.
Sounds
okay. So a lot of it's going to be, you know, rating from 1 to 10 and just a lot of questions. So bear with me. I know usually we have a nice, easy, open flowing conversation, but today I gotta do things by the book.
Right. Kind of zoom in.
Zoom in, exactly.
Okay,
That's right, Yvette. So let's start with the first one. So, would you say that you feel sad at all? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the least sad and 10 is overwhelmingly sad, how do you feel?
I think I give it myself a 5.
Okay.
You know.
And what do you find yourself feeling sad about?
Again, I feel sad because I want to spend time with people, but nobody seems like they have any interest in being around me.
Okay.
And you know, even though they know I have a lot going on, they just seem like they don't care. That makes me sad.
Okay. Who specifically? So you said
my mother and friends.
Your mother and friends. And how long has it been like that?
Well, me and my mother, I've always had, this has been going on for a while, you know, because I've been having my mental health issues for years, and so whenever I have a flare-up, it seems like the same, I do the same things, you know, that irritate people. So it's been going on for a long time.
Okay. How about your sleep? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible sleep, 10 being great sleep, how would you say?
I'm not sleeping that well. I would give myself a 3 because I'm awake a lot because I'm thinking about my relationship, the problems.
Okay. So you kind of have racing thoughts a little bit, or just are they thoughts that just don't stop, like they keep repeating?
Yeah, just kind of this repetitive things just keep going through my mind.
Okay. How long does it take you to fall asleep usually at night?
Well, lately, sometimes I'm in the bed for up 2 hours.
Okay.
But usually, maybe about an hour and a half. Because usually, you know, if I'm not sleeping at that point, then I get up, you know, and I stay up for a while, come back to bed.
And then you're able to go back to sleep?
Finally, yes.
About how many hours would you say total you get during the night?
Okay. Well, I usually lay down for bed, go to bed at around 10, but I don't go to sleep, so I'm up at midnight, and then so I'm up at midnight and I go back to bed at 3.
Okay.
So I go from 3 till about 8, and I'm not working, so you know, if I want to sleep later, I can.
When you do wake up for the day, do you feel like you're well rested?
I feel like I'm well rested, but there's not much to do, so it's like, okay, what's the point of staying awake?
Right, so that brings me to the next question, kind of like having interest in things or feeling pleasure on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being hardly any interest or pleasure, 10 being lots of interest and pleasure in doing things you do during the day.
My level of interest is probably like a 5 because I am interested in doing things, but I just can't find anybody to do the things with.
Okay.
So I'm not having any pleasure because I'm not actually, you know, maybe I shouldn't be dependent on other people so much. maybe I should take the initiative and just find some things to do by myself.
So that's a good thought. But what kind of things, if you were able to find someone to do them with, or if you were able to do them on your own, what kind of things would bring you pleasure?
Yeah. I like being outside, even though it's cold now. You know, if it's not freezing out, I like to go out and go for a walk and just get in some fresh air.
Okay.
I like going out to eat, shopping.
So going for a walk, going out to eat, shopping, those are all things you can do on your own.
I love to spend time with family members. I guess they're too busy.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you can find a neighbor or like a group. You know, meet someone in a group that wants to hang out and do these fun things.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I'm
Those
getting
are
caught
good
up.
ideas.
Yeah, you'd be interested in that?
I would be. Yeah, I'd be willing to try that.
Okay, great. And then some more questions. Are you finding yourself feeling guilty about anything on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no guilt, 10 being the most guilt?
Well, yes, I do feel some guilt. I feel guilt thinking about the things I did in the past, you know, people I hurt when I was when I was really going through it. So I guess I probably would say maybe a 6.
Okay. And what do you feel most guilty about? What have you done in the past that brings you the most guilt?
I did some really, really mean things to my mother. Really, really, really mean things.
Okay. You don't have to go into details if you don't want to.
I don't want to.
That's perfectly fine. You can do that when we see you with your therapist. Okay, so next one. Energy. Your energy level on any given day. 1 would be very little energy, 10 would be lots of energy.
Probably a 5.
5, so energy's okay?
Yes.
You feel like you have enough energy to complete the things like regular housework that you need to do during the day?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm taking care of myself better. I'm making sure that I'm, doing my personal hygiene things.
Very important. Yep.
On a daily basis. And I'm still not, making the best choices as far as eating, but I do have enough energy to take care of myself and to keep my house in pretty good order.
That's good. And how is your appetite on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being bad appetite, 10 being good appetite.
I'm actually eating too much, so I probably would rate myself as a 10.
Are you?
Yeah.
Have you gained any weight?
Yes, I have.
About how much?
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to tell me.
A lot, though.
Okay, a lot. More than a pound a week?
More than that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How about concentration on focus? So like, let's say you have a project in the morning, even just doing the dishes. Are you able to focus on that and complete that in a timely fashion?
Yeah, I'm doing okay with that. Yeah.
So then you focus on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best focus, 1 being no focus.
I'll say 5.
Okay.
I'll tell you about the weight because I know you're trying to help me.
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you. I've actually probably in 3 months, I've gained 25 pounds.
Okay. I mean, that's significant. Why do you think that is?
I think because I'm probably not exercising enough and I'm probably eating too much. I think those are the problems. I don't think it's the medication because you got me on low dose medication, so I don't think it's that.
Okay, yeah, we continued that medication that you had been taking years ago. We restarted it at our first appointment. Well, we can talk a little bit more about the medication at the end.
Okay.
So your appetite, you've been eating a little too much. Concentration and focus is okay. And you don't appear to be incredibly, do you feel agitated? Do you feel like you have to keep moving? Or do you feel the opposite, where you feel so slow, like you can't even move?
I actually feel, even though I'm not, where I want to be as far as happiness, I think for some reason I'm dealing with it okay.
Good. That's good. And then this is a very important question. So, are you having any suicidal thoughts?
Sometimes I think about, what it would be like if I wasn't here, but I don't have any thoughts about actually hurting myself.
Okay, so do you have a plan of how you'd want to make yourself not be here anymore, or how you would kill yourself?
No, I don't have a plan because I really don't think I could do that.
Okay. What kind of things prevent you from doing that?
Well, I think even though my family, they're giving me a hard time, I think if I did that, they would be really hurt. So that's one thing that stops me. And I just think that, I guess I care about myself enough not to do that.
That's great. Yeah, because those feelings, they will go away eventually when you're feeling a little bit more mentally healthy. They can stabilize a little bit more.
Okay.
And if you ever do start to have those feelings get stronger, you can call my office. If it's after hours, you can go to the emergency room. Okay?
Okay.
But then next, I just want to kind of touch on your interpretation of your personality. So just give me in a few words how you feel your personality is, how you describe it.
It's funny you ask me that because I think my personality has changed.
Recently?
I mean, because I think there's been so much going on, I don't feel like the person I usually am. Because I think I used to think of myself as, energetic, fun to be around. But now I'm not finding myself thinking, I don't think of myself like that.
Okay.
So now I think of myself as just like a person that's kind of stuck in a bad situation and who has to figure out how to get out of this bad situation.
Okay. Did you ever feel like people are out to get you or anything like that? Like you're suspicious of people? I don't think I'm overly suspicious, but I'm kind of guarded. Guarded?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're overly emotional or dramatic in your personality?
Sometimes I can be.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
But like with a reason?
Well, sometimes I think maybe I just like drama.
Okay.
So sometimes I do dramatic things to get attention.
It's a possibility. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next section here, if you're okay with that. Anger. Do you feel, on a scale of 1 to 10, how angry do you feel inside? 1 is like not angry at all, 10 is very, very angry.
Right now, I guess maybe a 3. There have been times in the past when I got to the point of a 10, so I've been really angry before, but I'm not experiencing that now.
So when you got to the point of a 10, what were you so angry about at that time? Can you recall?
I think it was because, that was during the time when, a couple of years ago when I was not doing well with adhering to what was recommended for me, and so I wasn't on medication.
Okay.
And I think because I was just in a bad state of mind, I think that had an impact on me just all the way around, physically and emotionally. Yeah.
So when you weren't on your medication, you were having more intense anger?
Yes.
Okay. How about anxiety? At a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious do you feel like you are? 1 being no anxiety, 10 being an incredible amount of anxiety.
Well, it all depends on the time of the day. It seems like as the day goes on, I feel more anxiety.
Okay.
And probably it's gotten as bad as a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of thing, is there anything specific that makes you anxious, or do you feel like, is there anything specific that makes you anxious?
I get anxious when people say no.
Okay.
And when, I don't know, just when people disappoint me, that makes me feel anxious.
Okay, I understand that. Now, thinking about your past, before right now, when you weren't feeling kind of on the edge of crisis, do you feel like you were a worrier? Do you feel like you're worrying about everything? Or so you've always kind of been worrying?
Yeah, I'm a worry wart.
Okay, got it.
All the time.
So that's what I would call generalized anxiety. Just constantly worrying about things. Have you heard of that before? Generalized anxiety?
I think I've heard of it. I'm not, I don't know exactly what that entails, but I am a worry wart.
Okay. A lot of people are. I mean, There's lots of things to worry about as an adult in this world. What about another aspect of anxiety? Do you feel like, and I already think this is a no, knowing you from our first encounter, but do you feel like you're ever painfully shy, you're trying to avoid social situations?
I am naturally an introvert, but I don't think it's really, it doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do and want to do. So
That's good. So you wouldn't like lie to someone just to not leave the house or go out and have a lunch with someone? Because it sounds like you want to get out and do things, pretty much.
Right, you're right. No, I've never done that.
What about something called panic? Have you ever been so anxious about something that you felt like you couldn't catch your breath, you felt like your heart was racing out of control?
I used to get like that a long, long time ago with driving over bridges.
Okay.
And driving maybe in an area surrounded by water.
Okay.
But I've overcome that. I think I've overcome it because I just did it. Right.
So that's leading me right into the next question I wanted to ask about phobias. Do you have specific fears? So the fear of bridges and the fear of water are two different things, but they can be similar. So when you were driving over these bridges, were you panicking and afraid because you thought you were going to fall, the bridge was going to break? Or
I felt like the bridge was going to collapse.
Okay.
And sometimes when you're on a bridge, you really can't see what's ahead of you because, so I was just like, I wasn't for sure how this was going to end, how the road was going to turn.
Okay, so just kind of that unknown had you in a panic.
Right.
Of being, off of the road and suspended above the air. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
I guess, I don't know if I would necessarily, I'm definitely going to make a note of that. I don't think I would necessarily classify it as phobia, and you said you've gotten over it.
It's a lot better. Right.
That's good.
Right, because
Okay.
even sometimes if I'm someplace, if I'm in a situation like that, I can calm myself down. I can say, you're going to be all right.
Good. So you've developed some coping skills over the years to kind of bring yourself back to reality.
Right.
And that it's just a bridge.
Right.
You've been over it before, so
Right.
okay. And now, something called post-traumatic stress disorder. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard. I used to work at the VA hospital, so I've heard that term. I work with veterans a lot.
So you've experienced them going through PTSD from being in war.
Right.
Do you ever has anything happened to you in your life that has caused you to have nightmares about it, or just recurrent intrusive thoughts or flashbacks of an event that was very strongly imprinted in your brain?
Well, there's, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I have a daughter. She's an adult now, and when she was a little girl, that's when I started going through my mental health crisis. And so I did some bad things to her.
Okay.
And I think about those things sometimes. I think about her, and
Yeah.
she's done really, really well.
Good.
So, but I never had the opportunity to talk with her about those things because I don't know how to bring it up.
Right.
But sometimes I think about those things.
Okay. So that sounds a little bit like guilt, more so than PTSD.
Okay.
And definitely, I'll write a short note about it, but that's something to explore more with your therapist, again, like the other thing we discussed earlier.
Okay.
Then, do you have any kind of habits that you have to do, and it takes you over an hour, and you have to do them at the same time every day, like counting things or checking things, or anything similar to that, where it's like a ritual that
Well, some people say that it seems like I spend too much time washing my hands.
Okay, how long would you say you spend washing your hands?
I like to wash my hands as much as I can.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get sick and I don't want to spread germs to other people.
Okay.
But whenever I get the chance, I like to wash my hands.
So if you were to estimate, how many times an hour do you wash your hands?
If I'm at home, probably go in there about 10 times or so.
Okay. So, it's good to be clean. Do you ever find that your hands kind of breaking down from all the washing?
Yeah, that's why I try to find really good lotions for that. It helps.
Okay.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay. There's worse habits to have, but that could mean a little bit of tendency of what they call obsessive compulsive disorder, because it's like you feel like you almost can't stop yourself, so you just have to keep washing your hands.
I just feel like I want my hands to be as clean as they can be.
Okay.
As much as I can keep them clean, I want them to be clean.
Okay.
It's really important.
All right. And then your mood right now, you seem like you're pretty steady as it is, but you say that you get irritable, which can be a sign of depression, which you talked about at the last appointment. Have you ever in your life had a very deep depression where you couldn't get out of bed, where you didn't have the energy or anything like that?
No, I don't think I've ever gotten like that.
Okay, that's good. What about on the opposite end? Have you ever felt like you can accomplish anything, like you're top of the world, like you can't do anything wrong, and you don't need to eat, you don't need to sleep?
Yeah, I went through a couple of manic episodes.
Yeah.
That was years ago, though.
And then were you put on medication after that?
Yeah, and I've been pretty good with taking my medicine too. I get now I'm getting the injectable.
And that's working good for you?
It seems to be working.
So the Haldol injectable, what specific symptoms does that help you with?
It just helps me to feel. I think it slows me down. It slows my thought process down, and it helps me to feel a little more better, able to focus. Yeah.
Are you having any hallucinations?
No, I've never experienced hallucinations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good time. Let's go through all your meds right now.
Okay.
So you're taking that Haldol injectable. You tell me, I have everything on the computer, but I want you to discuss with me what you're taking, why you're taking it, and if you think it's effective.
Okay. So I'm on the Haldol. I think I started that. I was on that when I came to you, and they put me on that to control, so that I wouldn't get in a psychotic state.
Okay.
What else? I'm on. I guess I'm on the Prozac for depression.
Okay.
And I take trazodone for sleep.
Okay. And so you're not sleeping great at night, so it sounds like the trazodone is not working so well.
Yeah.
I know we started you back on it at our last appointment a few months ago, but how long had you been taking it before that, before you quit that, before you came to see me, when you were taking it?
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't remember. But now, maybe that's a problem because I'm not taking it every night. I just take it when I feel like, really, probably twice a week or something. So maybe I need to take it.
So would you say some nights you get more than 3 hours of sleep if you take it?
No, it doesn't seem like it's doing much.
And what do we have you on again? We have you on 50 milligrams? Okay. So at the end of our meeting here, we can discuss changes to your meds.
Okay.
So let's see, you have the Haldol, the trazodone, the Prozac. Do you feel like the Prozac is helping?
It's got me at a level 5, And I'm doing the things I want to, taking care of myself and taking care of my house.
Okay.
You had a plan about what I could do to get more engaged with people, so
yeah,
that'll be helpful.
Yeah. Okay, I just have a few more questions, of course, and we'll be not too much longer here. Now, I forgot from our last appointment, if do you ever drink alcohol? Do you like to have a drink or two?
I like drinking alcohol, but, the medications doesn't seem like it mixes well. It doesn't seem so. Sometimes, like if it's a special occasion, I might have a drink and then take my medicine a little later. But I don't take them together.
So how often are you drinking that very often?
I'd say once a month.
Okay, once a month. Are you ever concerned about your drinking?
No, because like I said, once a month. If I have a drink, it's no more than 1 or 2 drinks at a time.
Okay, so you have that pretty
usually it's just wine.
Celebratory. Okay. What about other substances? Anything else like marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, meth?
No, now that I'm older, I don't mess around with that stuff. When I was younger, I tried a lot of that stuff. Now that I'm older, I just can't do it.
Okay. Probably for the best, especially because you're on those medications that can really interfere, and some substances can actually cause psychosis. So you're smart to steer clear of that. And then we did talk about this at our first one, but I just want to review and see if anything changed or if you remembered anything about family history of psychosis or depression or OCD or any of that.
I just found out, I was raised mainly by my mother, and my grandparents helped out, so I didn't really know my father, but I just found out that my father had some mental health issues. Actually, my mother just told me that I act just like my father.
Oh, really?
She told me that he had some mental health issues.
Did she mention what, if he had a diagnosis?
She just said he was crazy.
Oh.
So.
Wow. Okay. Okay, well that's good. I'll just say that mental health issues for your father. Okay. And then we talked about your medicine. So basically, Yvette, in this conversation, I've learned a good deal more about pinpointing kind of what you're going through. So it sounds like you might have a little bit of obsessive tendencies. I don't think you necessarily have a personality disorder, and in fact, I'd rather you do some more therapy to figure that out. But you feeling like you want to be dramatic all the time and you like drama, that could be an indication of some sort of personality disorder. It's not nothing to be worried about. It's just something else to explore, so we can kind of help you live your best life by giving you the best therapy possible.
Yeah, I like that because nobody's really brought that to my attention, and I think that is what's driving people away. So it's good, to have that recommendation to talk to my therapist more about this.
Yeah, and then also,
hadn't thought about that.
You mentioning that you have the guilt about it, that's another indication that it could possibly be personality disorder, because a lot of times patients who have this, they don't actually want to be acting this way to their loved ones. It's almost like they can't help it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll explore that with Corey, your therapist.
That sounds good.
And you're going to be you're still seeing her weekly?
I am.
Okay, you started what, last week?
Yes.
And how did that go for you?
It's going good. I'm just trying to get to know her, but it's going good.
So you feel like you have a good connection with her? Is she someone you can open up to about some of the issues we've covered?
Yeah, we're getting to know each other.
Great. So do you mind if I send her an email kind of about what we talked about so she can help you zero in on some things you need help with?
Yeah, I appreciate that, because then maybe I don't have to go over it all again. I know she'll ask me some questions, but maybe a little bit less that she'll have to ask of me.
Right. So by doing it this way, we collaborate, and getting some pointed questions or like pointed topics. I do this whole thing, and then I send it to her, and then she doesn't have to ask you everything again. She'll still ask you a lot of the basic ones that we always want to check and make sure you're not having suicidal thoughts and things like that. But she won't have to go through the entire list as in depth as I did today. So it sounds like your meds are working reasonably well. Would you agree?
I think so. Maybe we should go up on I think you mentioned going up on the trazodone. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so what I can do is I will increase your trazodone to 100. And then when do you feel like you need to come back? Should we do 3 months? 4 months?
I think, I don't know. Because, maybe what I'll do, if the trazodone works, if it works and I'm sleeping better, then I'll come back in 3 months.
Okay.
But if it doesn't work, I'll call it,
Oh, yes, absolutely call me. So, you know what, you're going to see Corey next week. If you see her and you're still not sleeping, then have her get a hold of me right away.
Okay.
Or you can also call yourself. But if you're already coming in a week, that'll give it time to get on a new regimen. And I would recommend just for this week, take it every night. And see if that kind of helps get you good sleep.
Okay, that sounds good.
And if it's not working, like we said, call my office and also talk to Corey, and she can help you with sleep hygiene techniques too.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
So it was great to see you. Go ahead and make a 3-month appointment at the receptionist desk.
I'll do that.
And then I'll be hearing from you soon.
Thank you.
It was great to see you, dear.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Okay.